Have you ever wondered who truly owns the deep ocean? I don't mean the surface we sail ships on, or the shallow waters we swim in. I mean the dark, silent plains thousands of feet below, where sunlight has never reached. Down there lies a hidden wealth, a treasure more valuable than gold, oil, or diamonds. But the real mystery isn't just the treasure itself, it's the fight to control it. Welcome back to Ancient Underwater Mysteries. Today, we're diving into the untold story of power, politics, and secrecy behind the race to mine polymetallic nodules from the Pacific Ocean. This isn't just about rocks on the seafloor. It's about who will control the future of electric vehicles, renewable energy, and perhaps the very balance of global power in the 21st century. So let me ask you right at the start, if the ocean doesn't belong to any single nation, then who should profit from its riches? The story begins with an institution most people have never even heard of, the International Seabed Authority, or ISA. Created in 1994 under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, the ISA has one mission: manage the resources of the ocean floor for the benefit of all humankind. Sounds noble, doesn't it? Almost utopian. But in reality, the ISA has become the center of a geopolitical tug-of-war. Here's how it works. The ISA issues exploration licenses to countries and companies, giving them rights to study certain parts of the seabed. Think of it like staking a claim in a gold rush, except instead of dusty riverbeds in California, we're talking about the abyssal plains of the Pacific. Right now, more than 30 of these licenses exist, and they cover millions of square kilometers. China holds the most. Russia, India, France, Japan, and South Korea each hold several. Even smaller countries like Nauru, Tonga, and Kiribati are involved. But here's the catch. Many of those licenses are actually backed by powerful corporations in the West. Now, here's the irony. The United States, the world's biggest economy, the birthplace of Tesla and Silicon Valley, does not hold a single license. Why? Because the US never ratified the treaty that created the ISA. American lawmakers feared giving too much power to a UN body. And so, while China and others have been quietly locking in their positions, the US stands on the sidelines. But not entirely. Enter a Canadian-based company called the Metals Company, formerly Deep Green. They've partnered with the tiny Pacific island nation of Nauru to get around the system. Their goal? To become the first company to start full-scale commercial mining of polymetallic nodules, possibly within the next few years. So ask yourself, is it fair that a handful of countries and corporations get to carve up the ocean floor? Or should the ocean's riches be shared equally among all humanity? That's the debate raging right now. Now let's talk about why the stakes are so high. Remember the metals inside these nodules: nickel, cobalt, manganese, copper. Without them, the dream of widespread electric cars, massive renewable energy storage, and next-generation electronics becomes nearly impossible. China knows this. Over the past 2 decades, they've already cornered the market on rare earth elements, dominating the global supply chain. Now, with deep-sea nodules, they could do the same for battery metals. If they succeed, the rest of the world, including Europe and the US, may find themselves dependent on Chinese supply for the clean energy transition. History has shown us what happens when one nation controls a vital resource. Think about oil in the Middle East. Think about coal in 19th century Britain. Resources shape empires. Could the Pacific seabed do the same for the 21st century? But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Critics say the ISA isn't the neutral guardian it claims to be. Many accuse it of being dominated by corporate interests. Decisions are made behind closed doors. Scientific voices are often drowned out by promises of profit. Marine biologists warn that mining the seafloor could wipe out species we've never even discovered. Imagine destroying an ecosystem millions of years in the making, all before we've even named the creatures that live there. And unlike on land, where ecosystems can sometimes recover, the deep ocean operates on timescales of centuries, even millennia. So the question becomes, do we risk irreparable damage to Earth's final frontier in the name of green technology? Or do we pause, rethink, and search for alternatives? And yet, the race continues. In 2021, Nauru, backed by the metals company, triggered a legal loophole. They gave the ISA a 2-year deadline to finalize regulations for commercial mining. That deadline expired in 2023. But the ISA hasn't finished the rules. So technically, companies could begin mining without a global legal framework in place. Think about that. We are on the brink of industrializing the seafloor without fully understanding the consequences, without universal rules, and with some of the most powerful nations on opposite sides of the table. Doesn't that sound eerily familiar? History is full of moments where humanity rushed into resource extraction, colonizing lands, drilling oil, cutting forests, only to regret it later. Are we repeating that same story, just in a place we can't see? Let's pull back and ask a bigger question. If these polymetallic nodules really are the key to the green transition, then who should decide how they're used? Should it be governments, corporations, or perhaps a global trust that ensures every human, not just a few shareholders, benefits? Some have suggested using the revenues to fund climate action worldwide. Imagine mining the ocean floor to build electric vehicles, and then using the profits to help vulnerable countries adapt to rising seas. On paper, it sounds like a perfect circle. But in reality, power rarely works that way. If history is any guide, the spoils usually go to the few, not the many. Will the deep sea be any different? Before I wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Humanity stands at a crossroads. On one side, the promise of progress, cheaper electric vehicles, a cleaner energy future, new industries, new wealth. On the other side, the risk of repeating the same mistakes of history, exploitation, ecological damage, and concentration of power in the hands of the few. So, the real mystery of polymetallic nodules may not be the rocks themselves. It may be the choices we make when faced with them. What do you think? Should we mine the Pacific for the sake of EVs, or should the ocean remain humanity's untouched frontier? And if we do mine it, who should benefit? The companies that dig it up, or the entire human race? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe, as I do, that the ocean still holds truths we must uncover carefully, then subscribe to Ancient Underwater Mysteries. Together, we'll keep exploring the secrets beneath the waves. Thank you for watching.